Alright guys, in our previous video we created this app. So what I'll do at this point is I'll say python manage.py run server, and it will start the server, and in the meantime I'll show you my Django playlist wherein I've showed you everything related to Django. So you guys must be accessing this playlist at this point. If you haven't already accessed this playlist, I want you guys to click here and make this playlist yours. So what you can do is you can click here to bookmark it or click here to save it if you're watching on a mobile phone. So what I'll do is I'll open this website, and we created a dummy form where we can enter task title and task description. Okay, so if you enter task title here, task description here, and submit, you expect this app to actually write to the database. And when you click on this tasks, you expect this app to show the list of tasks. What I'll do at this point is I'll say, okay, so when I come to home, I see this home highlighted, but when I come to this tasks, I don't see this task highlighted. So what I'll do is I'll come to this task.html and I'll say, don't make this one active, but rather what you do is make this one active, because this is something which is active when I come to task. So home task, it looks good at this point. Okay, so when I come to home, I'll update the title, I'll enter some sort of description, and I'll click submit, and I'll then expect the app to enter some amount of information to the database. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll come to my models.py and I'll simply create a model. So inside the home app, I'll say models.py, I'll create a class, I'll say class, and let's stop here. Let's take a break here and install something which is called Django Extension. And this is a beautiful extension. You must have this extension. If you haven't already downloaded it, I want you to download it and enable it. I'm enabling it, and ideally you should be enabling it in your workspace. I have enabled it globally. If you enable it globally, it will be active in all your VS Code projects, which sometimes get annoying if you are working on JavaScript or say something else. But if you are working on say only Django projects, then this is a very nice tool at your disposal. Okay, so we have enabled this extension. I'll come back to my models and I'll say task. Okay, I'll say task, and I'll import it from models.model. Okay, and you guys must be thinking, how do I remember all these things? The fact is, you don't have to remember the things. You can simply say Django models and something will show up. You can open this documentation, you can open this page, and you can simply copy paste. Believe me, this will work. You don't have to remember all the code. So since I've pasted it from Django website, there is a high chance that there will be no syntax error. So what I want to do is I want to say, okay, I need a task title and I need a task description, and at the same time I also want a time. Okay, so I want a time. I want to store the time at which this task was last saved, or the point when it was last created. So whenever somebody creates a task, I expect this time to be the current timestamp. So you can say models dot date time field, and then you can say auto add now is equal to true. Okay, so what this will do is whenever you create a new task, your time will actually update to the time whenever the task is being created. Okay, so I want this task description to be little longer than 330 characters, so I'll make it 300 characters, and or rather let's make it text field. So text field is something which can store greater amount of data. So if you have some paragraph or something to store, you can simply create a text field, and if you want to have some limited number of characters to store, you can use this char field. But whatever you use, both of these should work fine for simple apps. Okay, so we created this model and we need to enable the app as well. So you can come to your settings and you can simply add your app to install apps. So what I'll do is I'll say home, since I want to add this home app to my installed apps. And at the same time, what I want to do is I want to register my models, because if I don't register this model, I will not see this model in Django admin, and I don't want that. So what I'll do is I'll come to my admin.py and I'll say from firstly what I'll do is I'll say from home.models import, or what was the name of my model, it was task, and then I'll say admin.site.register. Now you guys must be thinking, hey, how do you remember all this syntax? The answer is I've been coding Django since a very long time, and if you don't remember this syntax, all you have to do is come here and you just have to type how to register, or say register models in Django. That's about it. You simply come here and you'll find something. Believe me, you'll find something in the docs. Django docs are amazing. Okay, coming back to this, you can always refer to my code, or you can always refer to these videos. And what I'll do is I'll say task, and my task model is already registered now. Okay, I don't have to worry about anything else now. I'll close this thing, and at the same time I'll close settings, or let me keep the settings open. What I'll do is I'll create a new tab, and what I'll do is I'll say python manage.py create superuser. I'll create a superuser, but it's a good idea to stop the server while you are creating superuser or you are making migrations. It's not a good idea to keep the server running. So I'll create a superuser first, but I cannot create a superuser because it's saying that, hey, you want to create a superuser? You haven't run the migrations yet, and you are saying you want to create a superuser. So we need to say python manage.py make migrations, and python manage.py migrate. This will create all the tables that are required in the database. Make migrations will not create any tables in the database. Make migration will not touch your database, but your python manage.py migrate will create this thing, tables in your database. So I'm reading this, it's showing me some sort of warnings. It's saying that URL namespace admin isn't unique. You may not be able to reverse all URLs in this namespace. So it's showing me some sort of error. And why is it telling me this? I think I have used admin twice. Is it? Yes, I have used it twice. I need to remove this. So what I'll do is I'll say python manage.py migrate now, and it's writing into the table whatever fields are required. It's doing all the work. I don't have to worry about this. Now what I'll do is I'll start my server, but I need to create a super user, right? So let's come back to this command, and I'll create a user called admin. Password is also admin. It's not a good idea to keep your password this simple, but since I am creating a video, I think that will work, and I'm not going to host this app with this password in the near future. And don't even expect me to do that, because I'll not keep such a simple password. I don't want to be hacked by you guys. Okay, so having said that, I've started my server, and once I start my server, I can reload this, and let me go to the admin and let me see if things work. So if I go to my Django admin, I can log in using admin. Okay, so I can see this task, and if I say this is DESC, and let me try to create this task. Oh yes, it works. So it's saying that, okay, your task title and task DESC works. Okay, so you can edit it anytime. You can come back to task, and I don't like this task object. I want to see the title here. So as I told you in my previous videos, you can simply create a function. You can say str, and don't forget to put a self here because we are inside a class, and simply say return task title. So self dot task title, that's it. And if you reload this now, you'll see that this is being shown up. The title of the task is being shown up now, and this is what I want. Alright, so far so good. It looks good to me, but what doesn't look good to me is this hello world. So I'll change the title of my index.html, and as you can see, the extension has been changed to, or rather the icon has been changed to Django DJ, and you can also see this Django admin here. So you can simply change this to HTML if you want to use Emmet, or if you want to do something which is HTML specific, like formatting the HTML code and all those things. But since we are working on Django, I'll keep this as Django HTML. And why this is helpful? If you say load, it will simply load static. It will show you all the suggestions. This is awesome. This IntelliSense tool is awesome. You can install this extension, and you can enable this extension wherever you have Django projects. Okay, so I was about to change the title and I got distracted. So what I'll do is I'll say ToDos list, and what I'll do here is I'll say ToDos list, but I'll not say ToDos list directly. I'll say tasks ToDos list, and here I'll say home ToDos list. Okay, so home task. All right, so if I reload this page, I'll see the title updated, and at the same time I'll see the title updated here. Now what I have to do is I have to create my task programmatically. So when somebody comes to urls.py, so what I'll do is, or rather views.py, I'll say, okay, whenever somebody is at home, we want to show him this index.html. But if he's submitting a post request, I would expect something else to happen. And what is that something else? It is handling of the form which the user is submitting. Let me explain it to you. When you come here, when you come to this form, you can see that there is no action here. Firstly, I'll add action is equal to, and I'll say slash, and at the same time, I'll say method is equal to post, because I want to use a post request here. And as you can see that I have this placeholder is equal to search. I think I added this thing to wrong form. I accidentally added it to this form. So my bad. I need to come here. I need to come to the form where I have this thing. So I'll say action is equal to slash and method is equal to post. And I think we are good. We can simply leave it like this. And let me see what the name of this field is. So I want to keep the name of this field as title. And ID is also title and name is also title. And at the same time, you can change the name of this one to DESC, and similarly name is equal to DESC and ID is equal to DESC. So I have the name, I have the ID, and I have the label for this text area as DESC. Now what I can do is I can come back to my form, I can reload this page, and whenever I type something, and if I click submit, you can see that it's saying CSRF verification field. CSRF means cross-site request forgery. This protects you from attackers who might try to send post requests to your website. And this is basically saying that, hey, we cannot verify whether this post request is coming from the same domain or not. So we need a token, we need a CSRF token. So this is kind of something which protects you from getting hacked. You can take it this way at this point. And if you don't understand what CSRF is as a beginner, I would suggest don't get too much into the nitty-gritties of CSRF. It's totally fine at this point. So simply all you have to do is you can simply type CSRF and it will suggest you CSRF token. And once you click this is the beauty of this extension which we installed, by the way. Simply you click this and you get the CSRF token. Now if you try to submit this form, remember that we are not handling the form yet. We haven't written the script for handling the form just yet. So it will definitely throw us some sort of error. It will tell us something, and by no means it will write to this database. So let me try to submit this form and see what happens. Nothing happens. So it's basically saying that, okay, let me submit this data to home, and once it reaches this thing, it's rendering the same thing. So it's doing nothing. So all I have to do now is I'll say if request.method is equal to post, I'll do something else. I'll submit the form or write to the database, whatever I want to do, I can do inside this. And if somebody comes to my home without this post, which means that the person coming to my website is using get request, then I'll simply say that, okay, take this HTML template and this is your website. Okay, so basically what I'm saying is if somebody is submitting the form, we'll do some sort of thing. So let me write it down, handle the form. Okay, and if somebody is not coming to this website with a post request, I'll simply render this. Okay, so how do I handle this? I'll simply say the title is equal to request.form.get, or rather it's request.post in Django. Yes, it's request.post in Django. You can simply say title, and at the same time DESC would be DESC. So if I save this and if I say okay, print this for me, title DESC. So as you can see that this title and DESC is being printed. It's not yet printed, it will be printed. So if I submit the form, you can see that it's being printed whatever I write. So since it is printed, we are ready to save these values into the database. So at the top of my script, what I'll do is I'll say from home.models import task. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll say instance is equal to ins is equal to task, which is a new task instance, and I'll say title is equal to title and description is equal to description. What's it called in my models.py? Let me check. Okay, it's called task title and task DESC. So oops, not here, it should be here. Okay, similarly task DESC. So when we are using this task to create a new instance, we need to supply these values from the model, because these are the value corresponding to which this title in DESC will be saved. And don't forget to run this ins.save. Now what I'll do is I'll tell my index.html that we have saved this thing. Okay, so I'll say success is equal to true. Okay, now you guys must be thinking, what is a success is equal to true? And let me do something here. What I'll do is I'll create a Python dictionary and I'll call it context, because we can pass a dictionary to render and not a single variable. We can pass a dictionary. So I'll say the key is success and the value is true. And at the same time, what I'll do is I'll say context here, and this success true will be given to my index.html. And all I can do here is I can create an alert telling the person that your form has been saved and you are good. So what I'll do is I'll say if, I can write an if statement here, and what I can do is I can say okay, if this is true, then we can simply show the user that okay, your this thing has been saved to the database and you are good to go. So let me do one thing here. Let me try to print success. So I'll say success, simply success, nothing else. So I'll say success is success. Okay, so if I reload this page, or rather click on home, it's saying context reference before assignment. Okay, so it's basically saying that you created the context only when the request.method is post, but you are saying that context success true when the request method is get. You are saying that pass this to render. So if request method is not post, this thing will not be executed. So it's basically saying that what is context. In order to solve the problem, what I'll do is I'll say okay, by default the context is success false. I'll say by default the context is success false, and if at all the request method is post, then we'll say okay, now context is success true. Okay, so if I reload this page, success is false at this point. So if I say this is a task title and something, and I click submit, and let me check if this appears here. This is a test title. Okay, and if I say let's learn Django, and if I say Django is the best, submit, and if I come back to task, let's learn Django, Django is the best. This works. Okay, I'm able to save my data to the database. But whenever a user comes to your website and he saves some title and description to the database, he doesn't know whether this form has been saved or not. He might think that what just happened? Did I accidentally reload the page, or did they not submit the values that I entered? So he should be given some sort of alert telling him that hey, we guys acknowledge your message and it has been saved to the database. So in order to do that, what I'll do is I'll go to getbootstrap.com. I'll go to the documentation, I'll go to components, I'll come to alerts. And what I'll do is I'll use this dismissible alert. This is the best alert in my opinion, of course. And then I'll come to index.html and I'll simply say, hey, if at all success is true, if at all success is true, show this to the user. show this to the user or don't show this to the user. Okay, so at this point what I'll do is I'll simply say success and we'll see whether it's true or false. So what I'll do is form submitted and then I'll say true or false. Okay, and then I'll say hello here. And this is not the best way to do this. I'll tell you what is the best way to do this, but for now I just want to tell you that you can simply see the values there. So if I show you this thing and if I click on home, it's saying hello, form submitted false. I'll say submit this form and then say form is good, submit. It's saying hey, hello, form submitted true. But this is not the way to talk to your users. Your users will be like, hey, what is this true and false? What is this? So this is not professional. Okay, so we'll see what professionalism is in the next video. We'll see how we can show users a better form of alert, wherein we'll show them alerts only when the form is submitted. So at this point, what I'll do is I'll make it green and we'll then end this video and we'll come back in the next video and fix the things that are important. So I'll say success. So if you make it alert success, the color will change to green. Okay, so if you want to show this alert only when somebody submits a form, you can use conditionals, and this is going to be the topic of next video. So at this point, if you haven't liked this video, please make sure to give me a thumbs up. I need your thumbs up. Please hit that like button right now. I request you to please hit the like button right now if you're enjoying this series, and if you haven't already access this playlist and bookmark it, please do it right now, because it's very important for you to access this playlist if you want to follow this course. That's it for now, guys. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video, and I will see you next time.